Welcome to In Time, a movie where the whole concept is that time is literally money, because humans have been genetically engineered to stop aging by 25 and have a timer with 1 year on their arms start counting down, and they need to add to that timer by working to extend their lives, but they also have to pay for goods and services with that time. And right off the trot, that means they could have genetically engineered them to be immortal right away, but someone thought it was a good idea to introduce that fucking timer because they're retarded and greedy. And also probably because the movie wanted to explore this time is money gimmick without us asking too many questions, so it is what it is. We follow along Will Timberlake, who lives with his mom in the ghetto, struggling to get by with barely 24 hours on the clock each day. He's 28, she just turned 50. They're gonna celebrate her birthday tomorrow when they both finish up some work and she pays off some loans. On his way to work, he gives a little beggar kid 5 minutes because everyone's poor here, and even though her clock didn't even start, she's already saving up because her life is so shitty. Now he has to run because he lost some time. Meets his buddy Leonard at work where coffee prices went up and the pay is less for doing more work. After that, they go to the bar where Lenny's getting shit-faced for free because there's some guy with over a century on his clock buying free drinks for everybody. So Will goes over to the rich guy warning him that flashing that much time in these parts will get him killed. Like, bro, showing that much time over here is like a mid-white girl flashing her tits in India. Instant rape. Rich guy's like, yep, I know. At that point, it's already too late because someone already called over the Minutemen, which is a group of dickheads that like to rob people of their time. Everybody runs out of the bar when they arrive except for a rich guy because he's clearly suicidal. Will hides in the back somewhere. The leader of the group wants to fight rich dude for his time. And when I say fight, it's more like a weirder version of arm wrestling where you're sort of grabbing and twisting each other's forearms, and whoever has the upper hand gets to suck time away from the other person because that's how you transfer time between people. Capiche? Rich dude agrees but wants to puke his guts out in the bathroom first. They allow that, and as he throws up, Will knocks out one of the guards and helps him escape. The rest see them and try to chase, but they escape from the back, and Will blocks the door with this very easily movable dumpster that shouldn't do shit in holding them back if it's that fucking light, but whatever. Bad guys chase him down a bit more in the car, but they're able to get away and hide in this old factory or something with a really weirdly locked door and two convenient seats facing each other upstairs. Will says they can hide out here for the night and tomorrow he'll make sure he gets away safely. He also asks the posh to what the fuck he's doing here with all that time. The rich dude goes on to tell him that he's 105 and even though he can live forever, his mind is spent and he really wants to die. Will is simultaneously dumbfounded and insulted by this dude and the most first world problem ever, who goes on to tell him that for a few to be immortal, many must die, which is why the taxes and prices go up like crazy the same day in the ghetto, so the rich elite can end up with millions of years while the poor die. But the truth is, it doesn't have to be that way because there's more than enough to go around for everyone. It's a classic human greed story, everybody knows it. They sleep and next morning rich dude wakes up before Will, sneaks over and transfers all his time over to him, leaving him 5 minutes, which is just enough for him to get to this nearby bridge and fall off of it when his timer runs out. Will wakes up just in time to witness this happen and realizes that he gave him all his time. He goes over to his best friend Lenny to tell him what happened, doing some very cringe Justin Timberlake acting. Like, he didn't just give me his time, he told me the truth about it. Bro, how is fucking Leonard Laugh Track Nimoy doing a better job acting here? Who cares? He ends up giving him 10 years because he's such a good friend, then leaves to go wait for his mother by the bus stop, excited because he can finally treat her right. She pays off a loan and finds out that the price for a bus ride home went up from 1 hour to 2 hours and she's only got an hour and 30 minutes left, with no one willing to help her out and the walk back taking 2 hours. The asshole bus driver doesn't cut her any slack and tells her she better start running, which is exactly what she does when she gets off. And yes, she does waste a bunch of time looking around for help instead of running, but what annoys me more is that she doesn't take off her heels to run faster. No joke, those heels are probably why she dies. Also, why don't they have cell phones in this movie? They have landlines and phones in cars, but not even a fucking Nokia brick. Come on, she could have called Will to run to her earlier. Doesn't matter because he starts running in her direction anyway, albeit too late when he sees the bus arrive without her in it. They both run for a bit and finally see each other with 10 seconds left on her clock, so they give it their all for exactly 20 more seconds before she dies mid-leap in his arms. Just know this inaccurate movie timer thing happens many more times in this movie, and it's annoying as fuck every time, but I'm only gonna mention the worst offenders because if I didn't, this video would be longer than the movie itself. Anyway, she dies, boo-hoo, nobody cares. Next day, he arranges for a limo to pick him up and take him to New Greenwich, which is the richest time zone, where all the rich elites in charge are, to quote-unquote make them pay. And a time zone basically means district or area of certain time wealth in this city or state or whatever it is that they live in. And while traveling past each border between time zones, he has to pay higher and higher fees as he enters time zones that keep getting richer, going all the way from paying 1 month to a year when he enters time zone number 4, which is New Greenwich. As soon as he gets there, he starts running, but then realizes he doesn't have to because he has a lot of time. But not before a lot of people, especially this redhead, notice him doing his awkward little run. He gets a really expensive room in a hotel, naps a bit, then gets some food, eats it really quick, which makes more people realize that he ain't from around here because he's doing everything a bit too fast. Then he decides to go gamble because he's really good at poker. Meanwhile, some bitches in leather called the Timekeepers are investigating the death of what's-his-face, rich guy McDumbass. They are more concerned with where his time went than his actual life. Check surveillance footage of the bridge and find that Will was there, but the camera didn't catch whether he stole the money and killed him or not, so they just assume he did and start looking for him and find out that someone spent years traveling through 4 different time zones to get from Dayton, aka the ghetto, aka time zone number 12, to New Greenwich. And it's him. Now I have a major issue with this, not because we only saw him travel through 3 checkpoints, that's fine, he could have done the 4th off screen, but that begs the question, why the fuck can't you travel directly from zone 12 to zone 4? Are there no roads connecting both of them directly? This map of their state would indicate so with these blue lines, that there isn't a road connecting them, but there also is no way to get from zone 12 to zone 4 in 4 moves while passing through zone 8, like we saw Will do. Whatever, Will is among the rich people now playing poker, ends up at a table with some guy called Philippe Wise, who owns a big time lending corporation that everyone owes money to, and he's doing well against him. Philippe keeps probing and asking questions to try and figure out who he is and if his hand is good or not. Then the redhead with fish eyes sits down next to Philippe and watches as Will goes all in with all his years, leaving himself only 30 seconds and wins that round. Wins over 1,000 years. Philippe is impressed and introduces the girl to be his daughter, who invites him to a party they're having tomorrow night. To prepare for that, he goes out and buys a classic E-Type with his his winnings, goes to that party, meets Philippe and his super fuckable family, walks around the party like, ooh, caviar. Then Sylvia approaches him, also trying to figure out who he is and where he comes from. They dance as the family watches and she tells him that she thinks he's not from a rich background because she saw him running earlier and that makes him look poor. But he keeps expertly dodging these questions while being flirtatious. Then she says that she envies these peasants sometimes because they live their life on the edge all the time and she's stuck here with guards watching her 24/7 and can't do anything cool or fun or dangerous because it's too risky and that's the only way she could die. So he's like, come on, let's go do something dangerous then. Which feels very out of place or shittily executed, but whatever. They go out to the back where the beach is and he convinces her to go skinny dipping with him, which lasts anywhere between a few hours to 15 seconds. Can't really tell because the timing of this movie is so inconsistent and the pacing is fucking wonky as shit. But eventually her dad comes out looking for her right before they kiss. They both get out and make it past him undetected somehow, although their arms are literally glowing bright fucking green. Then the timekeepers burst in because they finally tracked him down, take him into a room and ask him where he got all this time. He tells them he won most of it gambling, but the initial sum was gifted to him by a suicidal rich dude, so nothing illegal happened. But they're not cops and not concerned with justice, they just track time. And Tommy Shelby's like, that time is in the wrong hands because you're a poor and you should stay that way. His men confiscate all of his time and leave him with 2 hours for processing. The Weiss family see this happen and Sylvia's like, for fuck's sake, he was hot, and storms off. While he fights some of the timekeepers, takes their guns, runs down to grab her and take her hostage, drags her out to his car and drives off. Tommy chases. Will does some fancy backwards driving while Tommy crashes out and he gets away on a road that previously had many cars on it but now is empty. Parks under a bridge to hide, notices he lost 50 minutes so he asks her to give him some time, but she refuses to share like a fussy child, and they keep driving around till morning, which I will let pass because maybe sunrise was 20 minutes away, but apparently he drives back to the ghettos in Dayton. How do they pay at the checkpoint if she won't give up any of her time? Are there or are there not different ways to get from time zone to time zone without using the main roads? Someone please answer me. Fuck it, I'm just gonna assume there are, because something way worse is about to happen. As they're driving around, they hit a spike trap and tumble into this concrete river channel, whatchamacallit, because the Minutemen saw the pretty car and set up a trap for them. Now of course they should have been flung on a thing and killed, especially with no seatbelts on, but other than the entire Cats movie, this is possibly the first time I find a visual nitpick more comment-worthy than a logical one. Cause what in the flipping fuck was that atrocious CGI, homie? Seriously, they would have been better off throwing a fucking Hot Wheels car down a sheet of aluminium. Anyway, the Minutemen recognize Will, find that he barely has minutes left to live, so that isn't worth stealing, but she has over 10 years. They suck all that dry of her and leave her with 30 minutes, which for some reason takes a really long time to steal, although we literally saw a fucking century get transferred in less time than that. The Minutemen hear timekeepers coming, so they run away. Then the retards in the E-Type conveniently wake up right after they leave and right before the timekeepers come. She starts to panic hard because she's never been so low on time before. He's like, calm down bitch, and they start running over to Leonard's house to borrow back some of that 10 years he gave him. But when they arrive at his house, they find that his wife has become a widow, because with all that time on his hands he used it to buy copious amounts of alcohol and drank himself to death like a retard. After that they run to a closing pawn shop and are barely able to sell her diamond earrings for 2 days. Can't believe the bitch just threw him in there like that. The guy could have totally taken them without paying. Anywho, he then forces her to call her dad from a payphone and asks to talk to Tommy, who saw the wrecked E-Type and figured he'd call Philippe, so he went back to him. Will tells Tommy that if Philippe sends 1,000 years to the people of Dayton, he will give back his daughter. So Tommy's like, careful, that's exactly how your father died, and he knew his dad apparently. Will's like, these are my terms and conditions, don't skip him like iTunes, and then takes her over to his old apartment where he says they'll be safe for the night. How in the fuck is that true, you mongoloid retard, when they know who you are and 100% know where you live? Whatever. This whole time, by the way, she's been going back and forth between hating Will and sympathizing with him. He gives her his mom's old clothes to wear, tells her how she died and how his father used to fight for time and give it away to the poor, which he thinks got him killed by the timekeepers. Shows her the technique he used to win all these fights and this weird arm-twisting time battle shit that I'm sure the makers of this movie thought looked cool as fuck, but just isn't. And they talk some more about some other shit that no one cares about, and the next day they wake up early right before the time giving away Church of Dayton opens up to check if the ransom money got deposited in it by Philippe, but it doesn't, so Will's like, well, I tried, you can go home now. They go down to call her father from the same payphone. She's very disappointed in her dad and firmly on Will's side now. She even kisses him, then he gives her a gun to protect herself while she calls her dad. Like, what the fuck, dad, you couldn't spare a second? Then sees Tommy sneaking up on Will, so she shoots him. Will kicks his gun away and gives him some of his time, because it might be a while before some backup arrives and he might die in the ghetto, or maybe just to fuck with his head and, you know, try and convince him that he isn't a bad guy. I don't know. They hop in Tommy's car and drive off. He asks her how much time she's got left and she says
9 hours.
But before leaving his apartment she said she had
11 hours.
Bro, how the fuck did crossing the street take 2 fucking hours? You can't make a movie about time and get simple shit like this that wrong, you fuckwits. Also, after this, they stop a limo to get rid of the cop car they're in and rob what seems to be a very rich passenger in the back, then take the car. When the movie made it very clear that there are no rich people in the fucking ghetto. Where the hell is the consistency? Whatever. They park under a tree, watch news, and perform coitus while Philippe reassures his shareholders that everything's under control. They're afraid that too much time in the wrong hands is gonna crash the market. I don't know how, but okay. Tommy, who was able to make it out of the ghetto alive, walks in telling him that his daughter has been upgraded from hostage to accomplice. She's wanted too now, and if he tries to help her in any way, shape, or form, he will be considered a criminal too. And there's no amount of money Bro can bribe him with to change his mind. Back with the 2 half-wits while teaching her how to shoot properly because that first shot was a fluke. She comes up with the idea that they should be Bonnie and Clyde and Robin Hood this bitch. So they break into a Weiss time bank, steal a bunch of time capsules, and allow the people to come in and take whatever they want. Why are there so many time storage capsules and not one big one they all funnel into? Also, why are they taking them all one by one instead of dumping a whole tray at a time in that suitcase of theirs? Also, again, why are there any time capsules left after the people get inside? That place should be ransacked in seconds. Why is everything everything in this movie is so damn aggravating. Whatever. They spend their time doing more heists and giving time away to people, especially people in need, and hiding out in hotels. Tommy tracks them down and chases them for a bit, doing so in a relentless fashion. They figure that he isn't like the rest of the posh kids that fear dying in stupid ways. No, Tommy Shelby does not fear death. They're still able to get away though and keep hiding out in hotels. While the Minutemen's business suffers a bit, apparently they round up a bunch of people and interrogate them, asking for the whereabouts of the person who gave them all this time, which is Will, obviously. One guy comes forward telling them he saw which hotel they went into, so they go over there to kill him and explain how he's screwing them over somehow, and the reason the timekeepers never fucked with the Minutemen is because they always stole from their own people and from their own zone. Now, ironically, they have to restore order. I still don't understand how their business is suffering. Like, okay, people are defending themselves now, but you can also just benefit off of the free time that Will is giving away, right? Whatever, I'll go along with it, who cares? The main Minuteman says it'll give him a chance of killing him right away. They'll do the arm twisty time fight thing till death. They fight, and Will uses his dad's bullshit method of turning the tables on him, and right before he's about to time him out, with everybody focused on the main Minuteman's clock, he reaches for one of the other Minutemen's ankle guns and shoots them all real quick while he drains the main guy's time, killing them all in one fell swoop. The timekeepers find the Minutemen's bodies, seeing that this attempt in restoring order has failed, so in response they raise the taxes, interest rates, and just general cost of living in the area to combat all the free time Bonnie and Clyde are giving away. Will sees that and is like, aw man, all the time we're stealing is not enough if they're just gonna keep raising the cost of living like that. What amount will be enough to break the system then? I don't know, 1,000,000 years? Funny you'd say that, because my dad has a convenient 1,000,000 year time capsule in his private vault at work. Fuck this movie, bro. Fuck this movie. They sneak into the Greenwich and bribe their way into his company. She distracts her father and his 50 fucking guards long enough for Will to sneak amongst the guards and take him hostage. They go up to his office where they're able to unlock the big vault and find the 1,000,000 year thingamabob. He hits him with the usual bad guy speech like, you don't know what you're doing, this will cripple the system. For a few to be immortal, many must die, blah blah blah. They try to make it back to Dayton while Tommy is alerted that 1,000,000 years just got stolen, so he goes out to look for them, realizes he's running low on time because timekeepers never keep much on them, so that if they get caught, thieves can't steal much. So he asks dispatch for his per diem, which is like a top up of time for the day, but then he sees them and is like, never mind, I got them. Why never mind? Why, you stupid sack of Irish potato spud shit? Is it too difficult to drive one-handed for 2 seconds, you fucking dumbass? Whatever. He orders his men to make a blockade and shoot on sight, but apparently they're in a bulletproof car and drive straight through the checkpoint shack, driving directly from zone 4 to zone 12. By the way, that shack had zone 12 written on the front and zone 13 written on the back. Then Tommy, who's chasing them, takes a turn off the road onto a road that seems like it should be longer in my opinion, but turns out to be a magical fuck you detour that makes him faster, and he's able to crash into them. Will gets out and gives this little beggar girl the 1,000,000 year time capsule to give to the charity time giver aware guy, and they use all the people flocking towards the free time church place as a chance to make a run for it. Tommy runs after but loses them, so he takes the car away from another timekeeper that just showed up and goes looking for them as they run to a place where they have some more time stashed away, I guess. Finds them running across these empty roads, so he parks up and intercepts them on foot. Somehow they don't see him coming, and he surprises them face to face really close. Yes, there was a small hilly bit right here, but that's not enough. They totally should have seen him coming. Anyway, Will realizes from the way he runs and his fearlessness that Tommy's also from Dayton. He confirms this and says that he barely made it out of the ghetto, and right now is only concerned with keeping time no matter what, even if that means no one else can make it out. Then Will shows him that he only has a minute and a half left, so if he wants to take him in alive, he has to give him back some of that time he gave him earlier, which prompts Tommy to look at his own clock to find that he has mere seconds left, and time's out right there. Bonnie and Clyde realize they won't be able to make it to that spot they were going to, but Will realizes he can get the timekeeper's per diem from the car, so they dramatically start sprinting over to it. Will gets their first ass dispatch for some time that he gets, then runs back to share it with her before she times out herself. There is so much wrong with the sequence that it genuinely makes me want to kick puppies. Number 1, how does Will even know about the keeper's extra time in the car? Number 2, doesn't dispatch recognize a different voice? Why don't they check who it was first? And before you say it was already loaded up from a long time ago and ready to be taken, sure, except this isn't Tommy's fucking car, remember? 3, for the second time running in a movie where you have to literally run for your life pretty much all the fucking time, we have another female who still thinks it's a good idea to wear fucking heels. Why? 4, the last time he looked at his clock while running, he had 20 seconds remaining, and if I remember correctly, she had a second or two more than him. But this whole run to the car and back to her took way longer than that, which means that at least she should be dead. But that's nothing compared to number 5, the biggest time inconsistency up of this movie in my opinion, because watch, when Tommy crashed into Will, we see that he had an hour and 6 minutes left. Then right before Tommy dies, he has just a minute and 30 seconds. Now let's assume that the 44 minutes Tommy had remaining when he refused to take his per diem remained the same till he crashed into Will. Well then, even with that assumption, he should have died 20 fucking minutes earlier. Fuck this movie for making me do math. Fuck the heels. Fuck Justin Timberlake and his stupid fucking face. Fuck everything, man. Let's just get this over with before I bounce off my schisms. Everyone in Dayton has so much time now that they all quit work and the economy collapses, the system falls apart, and one by one each zone on their stupid fucking nonsense map becomes red, which I don't know what that means, fucking destabilized or falls or whatever. I don't care. And the movie ends with Bonnie and Clyde continuing to rob bigger and bigger banks to fuck up the system even more worldwide. This movie gets 1/3 out of 5 gallons of diarrhea.